All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle something that, look, it gives every creator nightmares, but at the same time, it can be your absolute best friend, your greatest legal shield. We're talking about fair use on YouTube. I mean, we've all been there, right? You pour hours into a video, you finally hit upload, and boom, you see that dreaded copyright claim notice. Your stomach just drops. It's that moment of pure panic. But what if I told you there's a legal concept out there that's actually designed to protect your creative work? Well, that concept is fair use. And it's a really powerful piece of US copyright law. It basically lets you use copyrighted stuff without getting permission. And listen, this is the part that trips everybody up. It's a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. It's not a free-for-all. It only works in very specific, kind of nuanced situations. So how does anyone, like a court, actually decide what's fair and what's not? Well, it's not just guesswork. There's a whole legal toolkit for this, and it's called the four-factor test. You can think of these as, I don't know, the four legs of a table. Your entire fair use claim is going to stand or fall based on these four things. So let's break them down.
Okay, factor number one, and honestly, this is the big one. It's the purpose and character of your use. The absolute key word you need to burn into your brain here is transformative. Are you transforming the original? Are you adding a new meaning, a new message? Or are you just re-uploading someone else's stuff? You see, things like educational content, commentary, criticism, that stuff is way more likely to be fair use than just, posting a clip to get some views. And this is a perfect way to think about it. Let's say you pause a movie clip to break down why the acting is so bad. You've just added your own analysis, right? You've transformed it. That's commentary. But if you just upload that exact same scene with nothing new, you haven't added any new meaning, and poof, that's where your fair use protection just disappears. All right, next up, we have to look at the nature of the original work itself. What kind of thing are you even using? The general rule of thumb is this. It's a lot easier to claim fair use if you're using factual stuff. Think news reports, documentaries. It's much, much harder when you're dealing with super creative works like movies, songs, or art. So it really boils down to this. Are you using that clip to prove a point, or is it just decoration? A little snippet from a news interview to back up a fact in your documentary. That's got a clear purpose. But grabbing a cool action scene from a blockbuster just to make your vlog look more exciting? Yeah, that's going to be way harder to defend as fair use. Okay, on to our third factor. This one is all about how much you used. Think of it like this. Did you take a tiny sample or did you eat the whole pie? The key is using only what's necessary to make your point. Trust me, using short, super targeted clips is always a better look than just grabbing long chunks of the original. Let's take a music review, for example. If you play, say, a 10-second bit of a song to show what you're talking about in your critique, that's probably fair use. But what if you take the song's super famous, catchy chorus and just loop it over and over in your video? Uh-oh. Now you've taken the heart of the work, and that weighs heavily against you. And finally, the fourth factor. The courts are going to ask, what effect does your video have on the original's ability to make money? I mean, does your creation basically act as a substitute for the original? If people can just watch your video instead of buying or watching the original thing, well, that is a huge, huge red flag. A web series is a great way to think about this. Let's say you make a parody that's so funny, it makes people want to go watch the original show. You're actually helping the market, right? But if you just upload full episodes of that same series, now you're directly competing with the creator, and that is definitely 100% not fair use. Okay, so now you've got the four-factor toolkit. Let's put it to work and bust some of the biggest, most common myths about fair use that are floating around out there. Seriously, these are the traps that get so many creators into totally unnecessary trouble. You've seen this a million times in video descriptions, right? That little line that says, all rights belong to the owner, or credit to the artist. We've all seen it. But does putting that in your description actually do anything? Does it give you any legal cover at all? Let me be absolutely crystal clear here. Nope, not at all. Giving credit is nice, it's good etiquette, for sure, but it has exactly zero legal weight when it comes to fair use. So think of it as just being polite, not being legally protected. Okay, what about this one? The classic disclaimer. No copyright infringement intended. It feels like you're, waving a little white flag to show you have good intentions. But do those magic words actually do anything to ward off a copyright claim?
Yeah, you probably guessed it. It's another hard no. There is no magic spell. There's no legal disclaimer you can just copy and paste that will protect you. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is whether your use of the content actually passes that four-factor test we just talked about. Your work has to stand on its own.
All right, let's get real for a second. Let's talk about the real world of YouTube. So you've done your homework, you've gone through the four factors, you are confident your work is transformative. But there's one more challenge. Let's call it the final boss of copyright on YouTube, the Content ID system. So picture this. You've done everything right. Your video is a textbook example of fair use. It's got commentary, it's got criticism, it's totally transformative. But Content ID is a robot, and that's the fundamental problem here, right? You have the human brain and a legal system that can understand nuance and context. But then you have Content ID, which is just a robot, and it only understands one thing, matching patterns. That robot, it can't tell the difference between someone pirating a movie and someone making a parody of it.
And that's just the reality of the system. Content ID is constantly scanning and matching audio and video, all automatically. It is physically incapable of doing a fair use analysis. And that is exactly why even 2 to 5 seconds of a song in your perfectly argued video review can still get hit with an instant automated claim. So what do you do when the robot gets it wrong? Well, there is a path to fight back. First, you file a dispute. You clearly explain your fair use argument using those 4 factors we talked about. Now, if the claimant rejects your dispute, they can either release it or issue a formal takedown. And if that happens, you can file what's called a DMCA counter notification. But just a heads up, this is where things get really serious. You're moving out of a YouTube issue and into a real legal process. Okay, let's wrap all of this up with a clear, practical strategy. What can you actually do to create amazing content while staying as safe as you possibly can from all these copyright headaches? So, here are some best practices. Your easiest win, by far, is to use stuff from the YouTube audio library. It's pre-cleared. If you're using other royalty-free sites, please always read the license terms carefully. They can be tricky. Now, if a claim does get through, remember that sometimes the fastest fix is to just remove or replace that one little bit of claimed audio. But the big one, the golden rule over all of this, is to just be as transformative as you possibly can. Look, if you remember only one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Fair use is about transformation, not permission. You always have to ask yourself, am I just reposting something, or am I creating something totally new from it? Your answer to that single question, that's the key to everything.